Okay, so this is me, Mark, Jake's grandpa's grave. It's actually a great-grandpa, and he was one of my heroes. I know he is one of Jake and Mark's heroes too. And one of the amazing things about him is that he was such an amazing fighter, and he was so obedient. Right before he was sent out to war a day after he got married, and he was stationed in the Norfolk area, and he was super amazing because right the night before he left, his bishop gave him a blessing and said, if you are obedient and perfectly obedient, so you had to be exactly obedient, then I promise you that you will return home safely to your family. And as you can see, he did return home to his family, and he was able to be buried in Arlington because he was so obedient and the Lord helped him be so successful. So I'll give the time over to Mark and Jake, who will tell more about how he was obedient and how he was successful.
One story, well, first of all, throughout the whole war, the Spirit was with him, constantly giving him impressions of what to do and what not to do. And Mark has some more stories, but one story is, if you guys know what a kamikaze is, there was a kamikaze flying towards the Yorktown, which is the aircraft carrier that he was stationed on. There was a kamikaze flying, and it came and it hit the deck, and it slid across the deck to the back, and then blew up, and there was like a couple second delays, and it actually hit the deck and should have blown up right above where his room was, where he was stationed or on the ship, but instead there was like a 5-second delay in the bomb, so instead of blowing up right on contact, it slid and blew up, otherwise he would have died that day. So yeah.
Alright, so as Jenaya said, he was prompted many times and it saved his life. One of which, as the Japanese new planes came out, they were more efficient and more agile than all the American planes. So as they were trained to, if any Japanese plane called zeros, if it was trained on you to just get out of the way, no matter what you did, just fly in circles if that got you away from them. But when he was fighting in the Battle of the Coral Sea, he was getting chased by a Japanese Zero, and he had a prompting to dive towards the Shoho, which was an aircraft carrier, and he was like, no, I can't do that, like, this won't work, I'll die if this happens. But he felt, and he yelled at, the Spirit basically yelled at him to just dive. So he started diving, and as he dove, he had the impression to just pull up right before he'd hit the deck. And as he was going down, he was like, all right, this is what the Lord told me to do. And so he pulled up right before he would hit the deck, instead of dropping the bomb, which he was supposed to have dropped already. And the Japanese Zero, which was behind him, just flew right into the deck of the Shoho and blew up. And it sunk the Shoho, which was a great victory for the Americans. And that was one of his great stories. And another one was, he was being chased again, and it was trained on him, but then it just went away, and he didn't know what to do, so he just kept flying. And he looked down out of the cockpit, and as he looked down, he saw it swooping down and coming straight up. And as it was coming up, it started shooting right into the bottom of the plane. And as it shot, all the bullets started whizzing through the plane, and he just kept flying straight. And he never got hit by any of them, which was a miracle. He should have probably been hit at least 3 times, because if you know how fast the planes shoot, it's amazing. But he was prompted so many times, and I don't recall very much of him. We're the last people from our family who remember him. He died when I was about 3, I think. And the only few things I remember was he wasn't allowed to drive a car, so he just drove, and he lived right behind my grandpa, but it was still a pretty far walk. So my grandpa took the blade out of his lawnmower, and he would drive his lawnmower down to my grandpa's house for family dinner. And that was just one of the greatest things. And the strongest memory I have of him was, after he had his stroke, and he was sitting in the hospital. And he just looked as weak as any person did. But I knew inside of him that he was not going to give up. He was not going to stop fighting. He was going to get through it. He did not, but that was a great example to me that if you want to do something, you have to put some effort into it. You can't just wait for the Lord to do it for you. And they say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.